Today we will be explaining activity rates and product costs using activity-based costing. Garfield Incorporation manufactures entry and dining room lighting fixtures. 5 activities are used in manufacturing the fixtures. These activities and their associated budgeted activity costs and activity bases are as follows. Budgeted activity costs forecasting is $560,000 using machine hours. Budgeted activity cost for assembly is $75,000 using direct labor hours. Budgeted activity cost for inspecting is $30,000 using number of inspections. Budgeted activity cost for setup is $18,750 using number of setups. Budgeted activity cost for materials handling is $14,000 using number of loads. Corporate records were obtained to estimate the amount of activity to be used by the 2 products. The estimated activity-based usage, quantities, and units produced follow. The entry, dining, and total for machine hours is 7,500, 12,500, and 20,000. The entry, dining, and total for direct labor hours is 2,000, 3,000, and 5,000. The entry, dining, and total for number of inspections is 500, 250, and 750. The entry, dining, and total of number of setups is 150, 100, and 250. The entry, dining, and total of number of loads is 400, 300, and 700. The entry, dining, and total for units produced is 5,000, 2,500, and 7,500. First, we will determine the activity rate for each activity. To determine activity rate, we will divide budgeted activity costs by the total activity base. For casting, we will take 560,000 divided by 20,000, which will equal to $28 per machine hour. For assembly, we will take 75,000 divided by 5,000, which will equal to $15 per direct labor hour. For inspecting, we will take 30,000 divided by 750, which will give us $40 per inspection. For setup, we will take 18,750 divided by 250, which will give us $75 per setup. For materials handling, we will take 14,000 divided by 700, which will give us $20 per load. Next, we will use the activity rates in A to determine the total and per unit activity costs associated with each product. To determine the activity costs, we will multiply activity-based usage and the activity rate. First, we will determine the activity cost for each department for entry lighting fixtures. For casting, we will take 7,500 and multiply it with 28, which will give us 210,000. For assembly, we will take 2,000 and multiply it by 15, which will give us 30,000. For inspecting, we will take 500 and multiply it by 40, which will equal to 20,000. For setup, we will take 150 and multiply it by 75, which will give us 11,250. For materials handling, we will take 400 and multiply it by 20, which will give us 8,000. We will next calculate the total activity cost, which is 279,250, divided by the number of units, which is 5,000, which gives us an activity cost per unit of 55.85. Next, we will determine the activity cost for each department for dining room lighting fixtures. For casting, we will take 12,500 and multiply it by 28, which will give us 350,000. For assembly, we will take 3,000 multiplied by 15, which will give us 450,000. For inspecting, we will take 250 multiplied by 40, which will give us 10,000. For setup, we will take 100 multiplied by 75, which will give us 7,500. For materials handling, we will take 300 multiplied by 20, which will give us 6,000. We will then calculate the total activity cost, which is 418,500, divided by the number of units, which is 2,500, which gives us the activity cost per unit of 167.4.